All right, welcome to Talkin' Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to do our daily Bitcoin and Bitcoin miner update. And like every day this week, today was crazy, so we got a lot to go through. I want to go through the big board. I want to go through what happened on the Bitcoin chart. Also, in yesterday's video, we were looking for 3 or 4 things to happen today. So I want to see if those happened or if they didn't, and if this bull run can continue. So we talk about Bitcoin and the miners all the time on this channel. If that's content you're interested in, please remember to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Also, if everybody would please smash the like button, it helps out the channel a lot and it gets this video out to more people. I'm going to start with Stronghold, stock ticker SDIG. They were up they ended the day up exactly 50%. They traded over 100 million shares today. That is over 150 times their average share per day. So this company's only been public for a little more than 150 days. So they traded almost as many shares today as they've traded the entire time that they've been a public company. This is a company that only has 18 million shares in the float and 20 million shares in total. Okay, so back to the big board. That was the big outlier. However, there were a few others that had a very good day. Mawson, stock ticker MIGI, they were up 21.5%. So that was a very large up day. And Iris Energy was up 14.9%. Stock ticker IREN, which is a very big move. So I'm going to talk about all this, and I'm going to look at the chart we looked at yesterday because something very interesting happened today. As always, there were some outliers. A few of these were in the red, but I think this is going to make a little more sense today than usual. So I want to talk about 4 stocks. Marathon was down 3.3%. Bit Digital was down 4.4%. TeraWulf was down 2.7%. Now, Riot was up 0.5%, so very close to zero. Those were the 4 underperformers on the day. I want to go to the chart that we looked at yesterday and show you what I'm talking about. This was the chart yesterday tracking the last 2 weeks of action on these Bitcoin miners. So now you're going to see today, we just mentioned 4 that underperformed. Well, they were Marathon, which was first overall, Riot, which was second overall, Bit Digital, which was 4th overall, and TeraWulf, which was 5th overall. So 4 of the top 5 performers over the last 2 weeks underperformed today. So that starts to make a little bit of a sense when we look at it in this light. So things are evening themselves out. On the flip side, the top 3 performers of the day, Mawson, was up 21%, and they were in absolute dead last place. In fact, they were the only ones who were down over the last 2 weeks. So they made almost all of that up today in one day. Iris Energy, which was the second worst performer over the last 2 weeks, was up 15% today. So they had the 3rd best day out of everybody. So everybody at the top of the list had the worst day. These 2 at the bottom of the list had the best day. The one that was a bit of an anomaly is Stronghold was up around 35%. That was a little bit bottom middle of the pack. This 50% move to the upside, I just don't know what to say about that. So obviously that puts them way up here in 2nd place now if I redo this chart. The ones that overperformed today seem to be the laggers, and the one that underperformed seem to be the ones that have run out ahead of everybody else. And there were several other good performers today. Hut was up almost 6%, Hive was up almost 8%, Gree was up almost 7%. So the board was mostly green, and yesterday every single thing we wanted to have happen happened. So that was an unusual day. Let's see how we did today. Okay, this is Bitcoin on the 15-minute time frame. So you can see, as always, there is an orange line right here. This is where the equity markets closed yesterday. So that was at $23,401. In the middle of the day today, we actually peaked. We reached $24,287. So we got over $24,000 today. Now, it was just yesterday that we took out $22,000 and $23,000. So this has been a gigantic run up in the last few days. However, in the afternoon, we had a reversal. So obviously nothing goes up in a straight line. So this was an important test. Now, it is too soon to tell, but you're going to see for the moment, it looks like we had a very successful retest. Basically, 1 minute after the market closed, Bitcoin just started going down in a straight line. So this candle is about a $700 candle, and these are 15-minute candles. So you can see we had already had some downward momentum in the afternoon, and then this just tanked in a few minutes. Well, we got all the way down to this purple line. When we zoom out, I'll show you exactly what this purple line means. But one of our objectives yesterday was to see if we could stay above this purple line, which was just under $23,000. So we actually came down and pretty much exactly retested it. You'll see even on the 15-minute time frame, we did close above this line. We candle wicked ever so slightly below it, but it looks like we bounced off. So we're about an hour later and it still seems to be holding. So it's too soon to tell. At the moment, it looks like we had a successful retest of that line and it has held. So that was very important. However, that was a lot closer than I expected. So although I was sweating it out as we were getting close to this line, from a technical standpoint, bouncing off of a line like this and having a successful retest is actually very bullish. So, it's scary on the way down, but we'll see. If this holds, then that's an actual indicator that this bull trend that we're in, this short-term bull trend, might continue. We had an ascending channel that we've been following over the last week and a half, and I will tell you, this was getting very messy, and I deleted all those lines, and I actually made 2 new lines. That's why they're a different color. The other ascending channel was dark blue with a bunch of yellow indicators marking the top and the bottom. So this channel is actually higher than it was over the last week and a half because you can see all this activity. This would have been outside the previous channel that we were in. So I said yesterday, I think we're moving out of that channel into a new one. Well, it looks like that's what happened. At the moment, we have successfully retested this purple line as support. I'm not sure that we get to the bottom of this channel or not. That is going to depend on whether we can hold support here just under $23,000. I want to look at the RSI on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, so you can see if I go to the bottom here, this is when we were oversold on the 4-hour time frame on the RSI. And you can see that pretty much corresponds with the bottom of this trading channel that's been 6 or 7 days now. So we went from oversold all the way, we just got overbought, we reset overnight, we tested this again. So this is a very mixed signal. This does still seem to be trending in the right direction. Right now we are setting higher lows each time, but this was not really a higher high. There's a chance that this was a double top. So what we would really want to see, what I would be looking for in the next 24 hours is for this to get back on track and get above this line, which was at 72 on the 4-hour RSI. If, on the other hand, we dip below this and get below 50, then it looks like we may be in for a couple of days of having a reset before we continue what I think is still an ongoing relief rally, in my opinion. It's a little clearer on the 1-day time frame, so let's go to that chart. This was our high that we reached over a month ago. On June 16th, we got up to just under $23,000. Until yesterday, we had not been back to that line. We had been under that line ever since. So that was a very strong line of resistance, and it looks to me now, yesterday we closed above that line, and if today can hold on, then we will have opened and closed above that line. Meanwhile, in the middle, we will have bounced right off of it and tested it as support. So it could be that this month-plus line of resistance has just turned into support between today and yesterday. So that's one of the things that we were looking to have happen. I would have liked to have an even stronger confirmation of that, but time will tell. Then if I look at the daily RSI, you can see this was all that sideways activity that we had right here in Bitcoin for about a month. And that is because the RSI ran up from oversold to neutral. We got to 50 twice here, and we got rejected both times. So all of this run up was in vain. We ended up really not getting any bounce in Bitcoin at all for that month. And then unfortunately, the next leg was down, and it was a big leg down from about 29,000. We got as low as 17,500. So you'll see that on this day, we got to 17,500, which was June 18th. That was actually when we bottomed out on the daily RSI, and we got into very oversold territory. We were down to 20 on the daily RSI. So you can see I copied this yellow line and moved it over here, and we have been pretty much following along ever since. The only difference is a couple of days ago, we were worried that we were going to get rejected here at neutral somewhere around 50. However, we bounced up. The RSI closed at 56 2 days ago. It closed at 61 yesterday. and it's sitting at about 61 right now. So that would be 3-day trend where the RSI is well over 50. And as I've always said on this channel, good things happen to Bitcoin on the daily RSI when it is over 50. So we wanted to get over 25 on the fear and greed index. For the last 2 months, every single day has been in extreme fear. That's the longest run in the history of the fear and greed index. So yesterday we popped over that from extreme fear into fear at 30, and today we're at 31. So we're about to get another change in about 3 hours, 2.5 hours. So what we'd like to see is something, again, above 25. Even if there's a little pullback, you know, if today was a bit of a 1-day sideways pause, that's okay in the middle of a bull run and a relief rally. What we do not want to see is this to go back into extreme fear. So I think we're good on the fear and greed index as well. The very last thing we wanted to make sure of is this green line is the 200-week moving average. And if you remember, we had an unprecedented over a month well under the 200-week moving average. That has never happened before in the history of Bitcoin. We were hoping to get above this 200-week average and kind of reclaim this. Instead of resistance, turn this into support. So once again, yesterday we finished well above this. It looks like we will open and close well above the 200-week moving average. So those signs are all encouraging. Everything that we needed to happen happened again today. Now, it was not as resounding as yesterday. Yesterday was a gigantic green day, up day in Bitcoin. Today was a little bit more sideways, but it did everything that we needed it to do. So I am still bullish at the moment. I do think this is a relief rally. I'm not at all saying that it's all up from here and back to our all-time highs, but I do think we have a chance at a very nice rally. And I've drawn a blue line right here. This is the next line that I'm looking to get to. So this is $25,366. You'll see that that dates back all the way back to May 12th. We had a flash crash on May 12th and got down to this number and quickly recovered from that. So to me, that is the next point that we may get a little bit of resistance, but really from there, there's not a lot that happened. We quickly moved from 29,000 down to under 20,000. So there is the potential that in this relief rally, I think we could get all the way back up to 29,000. So again, we need a couple of more days to make sure we're headed in the right direction. And like I try to say every day, you know, Bitcoin is a mystery, and just when we think we've got it figured out, and just when it seems to be moving in a certain direction, it stops, turns around, and goes the other way. So obviously, this is not financial advice. There's always a chance that that can happen. But from every data point that I can look at, it looks like this relief rally continues. So if we can hold above the 200-week moving average, we can hold above the line at 23,000. We can keep out of extreme fear on the fear and greed index, and we can keep the RSI on the daily time frame in particular moving above. These are a lot of the things that I'll be looking at. And what I'm hoping is that we pick some momentum back up tomorrow, because one day of going sideways is okay, and you know, 2 is okay as well, but the longer we go sideways, the higher the probability is that we are going to turn around and head back in the other direction. And I do think that this is a relief rally, so I don't think it's going to last forever. I think we have at least another week left to run, in my opinion, but I'll believe it when I see it. So obviously be careful. This is not financial advice. Please trade carefully. And that's all I got for you today on Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. So thanks so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next video. Thank you.